Okay, hi everyone. My name is Lacey, and for my internship that I did for the Marriage and Family Studies program at BYU Idaho, I worked with Safe Haven Emergency Villages, which is a nonprofit organization that has 3 arms of outreach. They focus on really training people in the community to know what to do in low resource settings, especially in regards to childbirth. They also have humanitarian, like sanitation kits for families in low resource settings. They have a family cloth kit as well as a mother and baby kit for those that have just had babies. And then they have their simulation sites where the community members can come and receive training to actually know how to assist people in these different situations. So I found my internship in kind of a roundabout way. So during the winter 2017 semester, I took a class called Family and Community Relationship. And part of that class, we were required to do 10 hours of service. And what came to mind for me to do was to make baby hats and a couple blankets for Safe Haven. So we had a field trip out there so we could actually get to know one of the people that specializes there and organizes a lot of the various classes and programs that they offer. And it was through that field trip that I got to know Mary. And when I went back out there to take the baby hats and the blankets that I had made, I was talking to her and telling her that I was starting to get really concerned about finding an internship because at that point it was March and I'd been looking for an internship since January and I was needing it in April for this spring 2017 semester. And once I brought up my need of an internship, Mary had let me know that they were starting a program with Safe Haven to have student interns and that they had recently finished filing all the paperwork with the university and would love it if I was able to do an internship with them. And so that's how I found it. I ended up having a variety of responsibilities while I was out at Safe Haven. Some of the responsibilities I had was helping put together family cloth kits. And those kits basically consist of family cloths, which are basically these pieces of fabric that are about 4 inches long by, well, it's basically like either 4x4 or 4x5 squares of fabric that replace toilet paper in low resource settings, especially if you don't have a septic system or you just don't have access to the type of sanitation that we're used to. And so that provides something to people to be able to use when they don't have toilet paper or if they can't afford it. And so putting those kits together was a learning experience because it has those cloths and then it has a type of soap that it's a bar of soap that you can use with laundry and a variety of other things. And those kits also contain like Perry bottles to help make sure everything's cleaned up down there. And they also include gloves and ponchos and just a variety of things that people need and that you don't think of and that we tend to take for granted when we live in a society where we have such ease of access to all these things. Another task that I had was to simplify some of the kits. So originally, before I started my internship with Safe Haven, there was a mother kit and a newborn baby kit for mothers who had recently given birth. And Mary felt impressed that we needed to simplify and combine those kits. And so I worked alongside Mary on finding a way that we could combine those kits in an efficient way to where they were still receiving the things that they really needed, but minimizing the amount of stuff that was in it. And so that kit went from being twice the size of what it was to being half of it and being a lot more efficient and not having as many disposable items. Because during a low resource or disaster situation, we don't have trash systems like we have on a regular basis. And so we can't rely on disposable items because then the trash just builds up and sanitation gets really bad then. So we need to be able to have reusable items such as cloth diapers and like reusable pads that you just wash and other items like that. Another task that I did involved watching the training video as well as the Errand of Angels video that they have in order to really find out what clips were the most prevalent and important for people that have never been exposed to this type of information before, in order to really make an efficient video to help get our message out there as well as provide training to people and get as many people trained as possible. And that was a long process, trying to figure out what was needed and what could be cut, but not lose the overall message and the importance of what was being taught. I also created the current brochure and the poster for an event that Safe Haven put on campus. And that was an adventure since I had never made a brochure before, but it was a rewarding one at the same time because I was really able to help get the message out there of what Safe Haven was, since majority of people in this area don't know who Safe Haven is, and so they don't know that there's a nonprofit organization to help people in low resource settings and that they're wanting to branch out throughout the United States. There was also the need to organize some videos for training classes that Safe Haven holds for the Errand of Angels specifically. There's 3 parts to those classes, and it's really teaching people midwifery skills and what to look for and kind of like how to handle if like the baby's not breathing or if vitals are going down, and how to help both mom and baby in situations that are not the most ideal. Another thing that I did was sewing family cloths as well as baby hats. There was a goal to have a certain number of family cloths, and so in order to help reach that goal, I borrowed a sewing machine and took it home and worked on sewing family cloths for hours in order to reach that. And then another responsibility I had was to create biographies for the Safe Haven website, emergencyvillages.com. The goal of the biographies was to help people that visit the website understand and kind of get to know the people behind the scenes and behind Safe Haven, and so they would feel more comfortable knowing who was running it and want to learn more. Some of the ways that I feel I benefited the Safe Haven site was organization of the office materials. So the house that I was at, the location specifically, was a fairly new one for Safe Haven. They had recently moved in to that house in like the end of February, March of this year. And so there was still a lot of getting things organized and set up, and so I was able to help organize the materials in the office so they would be easier to find. I also helped organize the class materials such as those video clips and organize the actual like class material for the different levels of training for the classes within Errand of Angels and teaching others. Also had to coordinate with other people in regards to writing biographies and getting the word out there that it's not just internships available to people within the marriage and family department, but that there's also internships available for people in the horticultural department as well as the electrical engineering department as well. How I benefited personally, there is a lot that I could say on how I benefited. from working at Safe Haven this semester. I gained so much knowledge from working with Safe Haven. So I'm actually currently pregnant with my first baby, and it's kind of a scary thing, especially because society teaches women that giving birth is the most painful thing that a woman will ever experience. But through watching the videos and trying to find out the most pertinent information to include in the new video that's being created, I was able to learn that childbirth isn't scary. It's not meant to be, and it's completely natural, and majority of the time goes smoothly without any problems or complications. And so because of that, I was able to gain a lot more confidence and be a lot more comfortable with the idea of giving birth and knowing that everything's going to work out and that there's a lot more options available to women than what society kind of has you think. And then I was also able to develop a friendship with my supervisors, and they really became like close friends and mentors to me. Um, they helped me a lot on kind of knowing like where I was at, like in my pregnancy, on where the baby was, and different things that I could do to help make my pregnancy easier. And like these are women that I can now turn to for advice, and they've helped me in tremendous ways. There's several connections from the classes that I've taken throughout my major and my time at BYU Idaho and my internship. Probably one of the biggest is because BYU Idaho is a religious university. I was really able to make the connection between the importance of relying on the Spirit and recognizing the hand of God in everything. Safe Haven was started because the founders had a prompting and an impression from the Spirit that this was a need that people in this community needed, as well as the majority of the country would need this type of training, especially because of like natural disasters such as Hurricane Katrina. And when those happen, people don't have the amount of resources that they usually do, and so people end up dying, and people have babies still regardless of what's going on in the world, and so people need that training. And so that's one of the biggest connections that I was able to make, is just the importance of utilizing the Spirit in our daily lives. Another connection that I was able to make is just the importance of family. Obviously, marriage and family studies indicates a huge component of the family being important. And one of the ways that we start a family is through having children. And it's a very natural process, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to experience and to learn about. Another connection that I've been able to make is everything builds on each other. Just from the very basic classes where you learn kind of like the basic theories of what people do, how they interact with people in different relationships, to parenting, to marriage, to the relationships that individuals have with their community, and how important it is to have a solid foundation in all of those. I was able to make that connection during and through my internship. Would I recommend this internship to others? I would most definitely recommend this internship to other students. I learned more than I thought I would, and in ways that I didn't think I would. So if you're interested in doing an internship with Safe Haven Emergency Villages, the person to contact would be Mary, and her email to contact her about an internship is emergencyvillages@gmail.com. And it's not just for if you're a marriage and family studies major. It's also for people who are in the horticultural and electrical engineering department, since those are also parts of the different arms of outreach that they have. And you can also visit their website at emergencyvillages.com in order to learn more information about their different sites and really who they are and what they're about. So thanks for watching.